Somebody doesn't want to keep us on. Yeah, it took me a while. I don't know what's going on. You're at the Watchmen Way. 2820. Um, I was called by God in 2014 to be a watchman, to warn and my duty was to warn as many people as I could, as quickly as I could, about the coming dangers surrounding the first ever worldwide economic collapse, the draining of the worldwide swamp, and exposure of the satanic pedophile ring that's been running our world for hundreds of years. Um, 2 weeks ago, God came to me again, and for the last couple of years, we've been saying that, you know, getting people red pilled, woke up, and prepared for what's coming with extra food, water, medical supplies, ammo, physical silver, and Litecoin. This is just the basics. You'll want to modify that list based on your own circumstances, your own skill set, your own needs. Research prepping sites on YouTube. Um, we've been saying since the beginning that the Litecoin and silver we were going to take proceeds from Litecoin and silver, the Watchmen, over 200 or 2,000 strong now, and we reach 60 or 70,000, I think, a day with the live chats. Um, but with the proceeds from the profits of the physical silver and Litecoin, we were going to pay it forward. Well, God came to me 2 weeks ago and said, well, yeah, that's true, but really what he wants is those proceeds to go specifically to lay the foundation down of the revival of God's church, which is the church that Jesus taught 2,000 years ago when he was on earth, which was called the Way. And if you've studied the religious history, you should know about this. It's in the record, it's a fact. And the beauty of it is its simplicity. And the reason it was never adopted was because the elites couldn't control us through the Way. There were no priests, bishops, popes, no buildings. We give our donations directly to the needy. They don't go to a central location. That's not what an organized religion wants. They want that money. They want that influence. They want that power. Unfortunately, business has, churches have become more like businesses. And God's not happy. Not happy with the Catholic Church. The reason he wants us to have the Way ready to go is because this year, 2020, the Catholic Church comes down. God's not happy with the church. Not happy with any church. Not happy with any religion. That's why he wants the revival of the Way. We need to lead as watchmen. We will be leading this. Don't get confused. I'm not a preacher. I don't want to run a religious organization. I am a messenger, and our job as watchmen is to promote the revival of the Way and just let it go. God says this will be the biggest church in the world within 20 years. Millions will flock to the Way, especially after the Catholic Church goes down. There's going to be hundreds of millions of Catholics looking for a home, looking for a place to go for comfort, looking for a place to go for answers. And we've got all that at the Watchmen and the Way. Anybody who is trying to become a better person, anybody who wants to live their life in the service of others, they're at the right place. That's what the way is about. It's about telling the truth every time. It's about making the right decision every time. It's about treating each other with respect, treating your fellow man as your brother. The church is in us all. There are no leaders. Um, we meet in each other's homes, parks. Mostly we're meeting to do good. Do gardening for the elderly that can't do any longer. Paint a home for the elderly. Build a home for the homeless. The way will be here to act as a conduit to help organizations get up and running, or different churches, way churches around the world, and also to act as a conduit and connection for communities maybe that have some great ideas but don't have the resources. And I think the one thing that we're going to have when we get to the other side of this thing is a lot of resources through the way. Through, I think hundreds of millions of dollars, guys, will generate just from the membership of the Watchmen. We'll be able to do a lot of good with those resources. And it's what God wants. It's all good, guys. There's no downside to this. We need to use our critical thinking skills. We need to use our discernment. The Bible talks to us about beware of false prophets. You should question everything and everyone. And I say even the Bible. I was raised Catholic. I was a altar boy. I went to parochial school. We were taught the Bible every day. And the thing that amazes me most is most Christians can't tell you the history of the Bible. And basically the history of the Bible was the Emperor Constantine in 330 AD, Council of Nicaea, oversaw the assembly of the Bible that we use today. So this is Emperor Constantine, an elite, a guy that would be part of the satanic pedophile ring if he were alive today. The Bible wasn't assembled for our benefit. The Bible was assembled so the elite could control us through it and through the Catholic Church. The systems they set up where they were basically promoting the need for the priest. We had to have the priest to get our spiritual advancement. He was supposedly going to be the conduit, right? And as we see the reality of how it's played out over the last 2,000 years, it was corrupted by man. That's why you need to use your critical thinking skills. I knew when I started this, I was going to get tremendous pushback. And it's happening from a lot of friends even. That's okay. The truth is going to come out. This decade for sure, and probably pretty soon, all the things I've been talking about the last 5 years are going to come true. All the things I've been talking about are going to be proven to be true. Eventually, even this. The whole truth about the Bible, about religion, about our history, the history of man, the history of our world, technology, science, medicine, have all been manipulated. It's going to rock the world when all this is exposed. You have to question everything. You have to use your critical thinking skills. Use your heads. The same people who created the internet to control us, the same people who created social media to control us, are the same people that oversaw the assembly of the Bible. Use your heads. Everything that's coming is for the betterment of mankind. The draining of the swamp, the economy getting cleaned out and cleaned up. All these criminal banksters going to jail. Some of them may be executed for treason because there's treason involved in this, what they've been doing. When people find out about how badly our financial system, banks, stock market have ripped us off the last 100+ years. No one will ever want to put another penny in the bank. The reason that God is showing us Litecoin and silver, showed it to me to warn you to get it, is because basically when this economy collapses, all paper assets are going to zero eventually. There's a couple of ways this could go down. There's basically three scenarios here, with variations on how they play out. The two main scenarios are that the economy either collapses organically, naturally, from something like Deutsche Bank collapsing or China's economy collapsing. They'll bring the whole thing down. Something like that, or it could come down with a reset, which is eventually going to happen. The problem is with worldwide record debt, $1 quadrillion in derivatives, it's virtually impossible to unwind this and figure it out. This debt is never going to be paid back. This worldwide record debt will never be paid back. It's going to have to be wiped out. It either gets wiped out at the beginning, up front, or I hope they don't waste too much time. They may try and unwind the system. They may try and put a Band-Aid on it and keep it going. I think President Trump understands that that's fruitless. It's worthless. It's not going to work. It's just a waste of time. We could spend a couple of years trying to fix this thing and end up in the same spot and then lose 2 years that could have been going towards the recovery. Instead of just declaring the reset, wipe the slate clean. Anything that's owed to you is wiped out. Anything that you owe is wiped out. Anything you hold in your hands, you'll own free and clear. Your house, your car, you'll own free and clear. But you're going to lose your bank account, your stocks, your bonds, your pension, your Social Security, all going to be gone. Now, there's talk that President Trump maybe saves Social Security. That would be awesome, but it's not that big of a deal, guys. With what's coming, the other things that are coming are going to more than make up for what you lose in Social Security. Litecoin and silver are going to be the biggest part of the greatest transfer of wealth in human history. Litecoin today, now Litecoin's up to over $77, around $77.50. It was $22 a few weeks ago. It's going to be 3 million by 2024, some analysts believe, and I think that number's conservative. Something you pay $77 for today is worth 3 million in 4 years. Do the math. How many Litecoin can you buy? You got to throw a couple $100 at this, even if you don't believe it. Number one, there's a reason God showed it to me. In the 25,000 hours of research I've done since God came to me, every day I see something new that proves what God showed me is happening. The swamp is going down. The pedophiles are going to be eradicated. The economy is collapsing. It's happening, and it's happening pretty quickly. You know, look at what's going on with China. You know, with the coronavirus. You know, basically a hoax, basically bioengineered. But it could tank the Chinese economy. The streets are barren. Nobody on the streets, and the GDP might drop to -4%. Normally, it's been running 6-7%, 5 to 7% consistently for, I mean, it's dropped off here last probably 6 months or a year. But, you know, and of course, I think they fudge their numbers pretty heavy. But to go from 5 to 7 to 4, the economies are so weak, just that alone could tank China. The Deutsche Bank going down. Just what happened with the UK and the EU could tank the EU. The EU goes down, everything goes down. The problem is everybody's broke. Nobody has any more ammunition left to survive any kind of a financial crisis. This whole thing is going down, guys, in 2020, probably the next 30 days. It could happen any day. You can't wait. You've got to get physical silver and Litecoin. You got to have assets outside the system that are going to protect you from the losses you're going to incur from the assets you have inside the system. Again, bank accounts, stocks, bonds, money market accounts, annuities, all going to zero. Silver and Litecoin going to go through the roof. If you've heard this message and you don't take advantage of this gift from God, you're going to kick yourself for the rest of your life. Don't miss the boat. I will post links to Coinbase, where you buy Litecoin, and to a silver dealer, probably SD Bullion, where you can buy physical silver. You want both, and you want to get it as quickly as you can. If you get a minimum of $500, $250 for Litecoin, $250 for silver, you'll probably be in great shape. And if you can hold the Litecoin for 4 years, you'll be a millionaire. Now, the more you can get, the better. The more you can get, the more you'll be able to pay forward, the more you'll be able to put towards the foundation of the way, the revival of God's church, the church that Jesus taught. And here's the thing, guys. You leave it in the bank, you're going to lose it. Because the bank changed the laws a couple of years ago. The politicians let the banks write the laws. They knew this was coming. And the law they came up with, that our assets are now considered loans to the bank. So when they fold, when they go belly up, when they go bankrupt, they don't have to pay us back. We go to the bottom of the list of creditors, which means if we're lucky, we'll get pennies on the dollar. Would you rather have pennies on the dollar, or would you rather have physical silver and Litecoin? Something that's going to be worth, something that's going to be valuable in a year, as opposed to being worthless. Your call. I've got 100% of my liquid assets in physical silver and Litecoin. Split 60-40. 60% to Litecoin, 40% to silver. You guys do what you think is right, but I'm telling you, if you don't have assets outside the system, you're going to regret it. There's a 10-part Cabal series that many of the members have watched. Lisa just texted me on it. It's very well done, and it's going to be posted on the websites probably by tomorrow. She said she was going to do that, so it might even be tonight. But also links on the forum. Everybody needs to get signed up on the forum on our new website, thewatchmanway.com. Thewatchmanway.com is where you can go to the forum. You want to sign up. There's links. And also, the thing about the forum is we control the forum there. So you can say whatever you want. You don't have to worry about censorship there. A lot of your comments are being removed by Facebook right now when you post them on the pages. So go to the forum and you can say what you really want to say. You don't have to pull any punches. X22 report today is reporting the same thing we've been saying. That they're saying the economy's going to go down, and then they'll come up with a debt answer, which is going to be a reset down the road. I think President Trump might be a little bit nervous about declaring a reset up front, in that people may not understand what's going on. Well, why are we doing this? You just told us that the economy was great, right, in the State of the Union address, which on paper it is, but we all know it's smoke and mirrors. So what they might do is allow the economy to collapse and then flounder for a bit until people realize, wait, we got to do something different, and then declare the reset where people can understand, okay, we had to do this So that might be the rationale behind that thinking. I don't. It makes perfect sense to me. Um, it could be a problem, and really the smartest way to do this is just bang, wipe it out, declare a reset, move forward. I just don't think the American public, especially, would understand it. So it's probably better to do it this way. We'll see how it plays out. Either way, it's coming, guys. Either way, President Trump's going to do what he thinks is the best for us, the American people. Not the globalists, not the politicians, not the elite, not the swamp. No, the American people. So it's all good, guys. Think of Litecoin and silver as insurance against what you're going to lose. You're going to lose all your paper assets. You're going to lose 80% of the value of your home. Home prices are going to plummet. Get physical silver and Litecoin today. Buy it tonight. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate. What else do I got here? The other thing is, with some of the things that are coming, there's a lot of well, their whole the whole globalist game plan, and that's what this is, guys. This is all driven by globalism. The satanic pedophiles are the ones that created globalism. Um, when we see what their plan was and how close they were to achieving their plan, we're going to compare this to some pretty horrific events throughout our history. And it's a funny thing when you look at these events. A couple that come to mind are, what happened in Germany with Hitler, and in America, what happened here with what we did with the Indians. On the one hand, with Hitler, that has been exhibited, even though there are people that still try and deny it, globalists, the people that created Hitler are the ones that want to deny it. It's either exhibited so you make sure that it never happens again, or it's swept under the rug, more like it was done with how we treated the American Indians, right? We did some horrific things. We didn't murder the numbers that Hitler did, but at that time, it was pretty horrific stuff. We murdered hundreds of innocent Indians after stealing their land. Well, the only reason I'm getting into this, guys, is that one of our roles as watchmen is going to continue in that we will be on that wall watching to make sure that nothing like this ever happens again, that the satanic pedophilia can never rear its ugly head again, that the globalists can never get the hold they had on the world. They were this close. You got to go to the UN website and look at Agenda 21. Agenda 2030. It started with Agenda 21, and then they fast forwarded to Agenda 2030. Basically, the bottom line, they want 500 million people to be the population of the world in 2030, in 10 years. The population today is 7.5 billion. 7.5 billion to 500,000 in 10 years. So they want to lose 7 billion people in 10 years. How's that going to happen? That math doesn't work when the longevity is going up every year. how do you eliminate 7 billion people? Well, they were going to start nuclear war. Hillary was going to start a nuclear war with North Korea. That was going to be one of the main catalyst. Millions were going to die. Well, yeah, billions. That was a plan of these globalists. And then we have to make sure that this doesn't come back in 30 or 50 years. So that's one of the things, as well as continuing to spread the word of the way, continuing to be a conduit for the foundation of God's church. We will also man that wall and keep an eye out to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And that's all going to be a process, guys. We're going to have to continually remind people of what happened here and how close we came to 7 billion people being exterminated. That's what they were trying to do. So let me make sure I got everything I want to hit tonight. It's just the way, guys. It's so pure. Do the right thing. Live your life in the service of others. You can't knock it. It's the most pure religion in the world. And I believe God is, what he's telling me again is true. That this will be the biggest religion in the world in 20 years. Okay, let's see what we got for questions. Cousin Bill, what's up? Lisa, hello. Todd, how you doing? David? Tessie, hello. Yeah, I'm taking questions, guys. You guys got any questions? Thanks, David. Kelly, how you doing? Rita, hello. Susie, hello. Susie needs a pick-me-up. Well, how about Litecoin at $77? That's a pretty good pick-me-up. And climbing quickly. So next week could be huge, guys. Any day. You got to be ready. Everything is going to work out, guys. This whole thing, I keep saying, we should be dancing in the streets right now, the way this is going. You know, we don't see it. You know, they're not announcing all the progress, obviously, on the mainstream media for good reason, because they're the bad guys, and the bad guys are losing. And you can see how they're tearing their hair out and going crazy with all these, you know, Schiff's got something new now he's going to roll out. These guys are Gitmo bound very soon. It's all working out, guys. Trust the plan. Ruth's wanting to know, well, yeah, me. I've been predicting these highs for Litecoin. I'm trying to think. There's several analysts on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and punch in Litecoin and see what you come up with. But yeah, and here's the thing. Here's what analysts aren't going to get. Ruth is asking the question about Litecoin and predictions. The one thing, I don't know one analyst, either on the general economy or on cryptocurrencies, who is taking the draining of the swamp and the pedophilia into account on impacting either market, either the financial stock market or the cryptocurrency market. They're going to be the biggest factors probably in history, and these guys aren't considering them. So you can't really, put too much credence in these guys' analysis if they aren't taking the biggest events in human history into account when they're doing their analysis. 77.41 right now. Rolling, guys. I'm telling you, what did I tell you? I've been saying this for months. We will see a run-up in the cryptocurrencies when we get close to the economy going down, because the insiders know how close we are. And that's what we're seeing when we see the run-up at the end, is they're getting their money in before we do. That's what's happening there. Yeah, you guys have to sign up for the forum on the watchmanway.com. Is that the right address, Lisa? Will you please post the address again so everybody has it? Danielle, how you doing? Okay, Tessie wants to know why Nadler and Schiff are going after President Trump again. I've explained this almost every single day. Here's the deal, guys. Schiff, Pelosi, Schumer, Feinstein, half of Congress, at least, are part of the deep state globalist that will be arrested. These people know that either they get President Trump out of office or kill him. If they don't, they know they're going to end up at Gitmo and most likely be executed for treason. That's why this ridiculous story has been going on for months, because these jackasses don't have anything else except for garbage to throw out there. They got nothing. So they're throwing up worthless hope. It's hopium. They don't have a damn thing, and this is their way to stay out of jail. They think. They're running out of time. President Trump, I think very soon, because he can't let this go on. They're making a mockery of our political system. For sure, this goes down before the 2020 election, and I believe if it's going to come down before the 2020 election, it has to come down before the end of spring. Because if we get into summer, we're going to be too close to the election. So that means it has to happen, guys, in the next couple of months. Outside, I think it's going to happen sooner. We'll see. But it is going to happen. Mark my words. Everything I've been talking about is happening. Be prepared. Those that are prepared will thrive. One of the reasons God's doing this is we saw what happened when evil controlled the power and the money in our last world. That's not going to happen in our next world. Good is going to control the financial system. Good is going to use that power to create a better world. Just think about 90% of the evil in the world being eradicated. At the same time, the way is taking hold and exploding. What kind of world do you think we'll have? It's going to be a lot better than it has been. Trust me. Heaven on earth. Man's greatest age. 1,000 years of peace and prosperity. There's no gloom and doom here, guys. There's no fear. There's nothing to fear. Everything that's coming is good. Now, there can be some bad things that happen depending on, mostly it's going to depend on the governments. Who controls the governments? Because every country is going to go through this. Who's in control? Are they nationalist? Are they working for their people? Or are they globalist? Are they working for this satanic pedophile group? For the swamp, the black hats? the evil. In America, we're in great shape. I think President Trump has got this under control. I think we're going to get through this probably better than any other country in the world. I do believe there's going to be some heavenly intervention. I believe God's going to intervene here and protect most people. That doesn't mean everybody's going to make it through clean, guys. You know, with change comes some chaos, and with chaos can come some danger. The world's a dangerous place. It is right now. So what? We'll get through it. There's nothing we can't handle that's coming at us, guys. Nothing. We've handled worse before. It's all about attitude. It's all about sticking together. It's all about unity. And trust me, when this network of satanic pedophiles is exposed, arrested, convicted, the world unites behind President Trump because he is the one responsible for taking them on head on. The reason that he's faced such fierce opposition in the last 4 years is because they knew who he was. And they knew they couldn't have him become president and or stay president because they weren't going to be around if he did stay. And look what's happened. We're at the end, guys. Days or weeks away from taking these monsters down. It's all good. There's no downside to this. No reason for fear. Be prepared. Be prepared to come out of this the other side and skyrocket. Because the people that are prepared, that's what's going to happen for them. Those that aren't are going to struggle. I think everybody's probably in America. I think even the ones that aren't prepared are going to get through this. You know, you may not eat every day. You may go hungry. Your kids may go hungry. But I don't think anybody's going to starve. I think President Trump will keep the power on, which means the water will run, and probably keep food in the stores for the most part. There may be shortages. Don't gamble with your family's safety and security. Get prepared now. You know, 50-pound bags of rice, 50-pound bags of beans. Refill your old milk containers and soda containers with water and store them. Just use tap water. This is about survival, guys. This isn't about, you know, living a gourmet lifestyle. It's about getting through a rough patch. So, you know, for a couple $100, you can feed a family of 4 for probably 6 weeks, 2 months. You know, four or five 50-pound bags of rice, 4 or 5 50-pound bags of beans. That's a lot of food for a family of 4. You know, you might have to ration, but, you know, you do what you got to do. Like I said, this is just about survival, a short period survival deal. 6 weeks, I think, max. We're probably in good shape. The government's saying 6 months. Hey, I've got 6 months. Way more. Like probably 6 months for 20 people plus. But you don't, not everybody has to do that. I did it because, again, we want to get extra if we can, because if we have extra, we'll be able to use it to help others, to pay it forward. We pay it forward now by reaching out, by trying to red pill our friends, relatives, neighbors, and get them prepared for what's coming. In the future, we're going to pay it forward with the profits from the gift that we got from God in physical silver and Litecoin. That foreknowledge, so that we could take advantage of his gift. Okay, what else we got here? So that's the answer, Tessie. The same answer I've been given now for about a year or more. Am I missing something here? Okay. The Watchmen way. Yeah, guys, this thing's going down. I'm telling you, the warning signs are all around the world. Tom, how you doing? Well, if there's nothing about, well, listen, uh, as far as Litecoin going up astronomically, yeah, I don't know that anybody is predicting that. I got, um, and remember, guys, this is how God shows me things. This thing popped up, the one I'm talking about that I quote the most often, 3 or 4 years ago. Um, Saw it, didn't save it, didn't think to save it, made a lot of sense. Went back and looked for it later, could never find it. This has happened with 4 or 5 big things over the last few years that God showed me that have been spot on, and this it falls right in that. When you look at and just to go a little bit deeper on this guy was an economist, this analyst. Um, Younger guy, probably early 40s, but he explained the formula he used. And I'm not an economist, but I know there are formulas they can use virtually on anything. They take um, how many of a particular item, how many are available. Is it a limited amount or is it unlimited? What is it selling for today? What did it sell for when it originally came out? How big how big was the run up in that time period? In taking all of these all this analysis into account, they can determine what almost anything will be worth at a point down the road. Well, the point down the road was this was probably 2018, could have even been, well, probably 2018 that I saw this. Could have been 2017. And he was saying 2024 back then. Um, Now, again, everything that I've found since then, when the economy goes down, these things are going to go through the roof. What you can find as a comparable, go look up Bill Holter. Look up Bill Holter and his predictions on gold when we go to a gold backed currency. Bill Holter is saying 50 to $85,000 an ounce of gold when the US goes to a gold backed currency, which is going to be in 2020. That kind of gives you an idea. Gold is 1,500 right now, possibly going to 85,000 within the next 12 months. So these are the same. This is what's going to happen, guys. The assets that are outside the system are going to hold the only value of any asset, because fiat dollars around the world, worthless. Tell me something that's worth anything. Stocks going down. Everything is losing value except for the hard assets, precious metals, cryptocurrencies, the future of money. Only 84 million Litecoin, guys. Over 64 million already sold. 7.5 billion people in the world. How long do you think those last 20 million are going to last? And they're going every day, guys. God knows what it is. It might be down to 15 million left. Don't wait. Then what do you think the price is going to go to when they're all gone? Guys, you're an idiot if you don't gamble $100 on this. I'm telling you. Do what you want. Okay. Yeah, and Q says no step 5. So what does that tell you? I guess we're at the end then, right? If there's no step 5, that means we're at the end, guys. That means it's about ready to go down. Uh, well, Tessie's saying that she tells her family to trust the plan and they think she's crazy. Well, welcome to the club, Tessie. That's what you're going to get. It's getting easier though. So keep talking. Keep planting those seeds. Todd, how you doing? Benny? Yeah. Buy as much as you can as fast as you can, guys, because it's going to end pretty quickly. As soon as this thing goes down, you probably won't be able to buy silver or Litecoin for a while. For a while. And then the price is going to be way different than it is today. Trust me. You know, if it got to the point where say the bank's closed, Litecoin's going to be $500 in a month, be $1,000 by summer if the bank's closed. Just think about that. There might be from the normies, from the newbies, some resistance to get into the crypto market because they won't understand it right up front. But trust me, people are going to get a real quick education on precious metals and cryptocurrencies when this happens. They're going to be scrambling. And trust me, your phone's going to ring off the hook because all your friends know you know about it. So when it's the hottest thing on the news, who do you think they're going to call? Damn right, they're going to call you or me. They're calling us, guys. Okay. Susie's asking if JFK's alive. I believe JFK is alive. I believe if he's alive, he might be the vice presidential running mate for President Trump in 2020. Think about that. Talk about a dream team. Can you imagine that? The golden boy from the Democratic Party, Democratic royalty. Can you imagine if he came out and told his story and why he went underground for 20 years and why now he's going to support President Trump, change parties, and run as a vice presidential running mate? I mean, my God, you can't make this shit up. I believe it. Listen, when this happened, I said it was fishy. You know, you had a guy of this stature, really political royalty in America. They didn't start the search for him for days. It doesn't happen with somebody of that stature. They're out the minute they hear about somebody like that missing in a situation like this. Bodies of Catholics that were cremated and then buried at sea? No, not going to happen. There are just so many things that are question marks. And then you have the Vincent Fusca. Go to YouTube, Jennifer Mack's channel, MAC, Vincent Fusca, F-U-C-A. Go to YouTube and just punch in Vincent Fusca. Go to Jennifer Mack's page and watch all the YouTubes on Vincent Fusca. There are 2 Vincent Fuscas. One shorter, I think, is a cousin. The other one would be JFK Jr. The woman who is with Vincent Fusca is a dead ringer for JFK's wife. Can't make it up, guys. Check it out. I think it's real. I think it's true. We'll see. If it's not, it's not. But just my gut feeling tells me it is true. We'll see. And here's the main thing. I don't believe. See, President Trump had to be on board with this whole thing. Because you can see, when you watch Jennifer Mack's video, you can see President Trump interacting with Vincent Fusca in the crowd at the Trump rallies. Many Trump rallies. They're interacting together, communicating during the rally. So that would mean that President Trump is in on this. I don't think President Trump would put the Kennedy family through this if it was just a LARP, if it was just a distraction for the deep state. I don't think he would. Because he was friends with JFK Jr. So I just don't see it, guys. I believe it's true. I believe he's alive. We'll see. It doesn't make any difference. This is all going our way. But just imagine if it is. Just imagine how many Democrats, liberals, that would sway for their betterment, right? Because the more people that get on board with this thing, the faster we're going to get through this. And the fewer people that will be negatively impacted. Okay, guys. That looks like that's all the questions. I think I covered everything I need to cover for tonight. We're close. We've got to really stress how good this is for all of us. We have to lead with that, because just human nature, when you start talking about former presidents being arrested, when you start talking about, a worldwide pedophile ring, when you start talking about a worldwide economic collapse, the cognitive dissonance starts to set in, right? It's too much. People can't process it. So we got to be gentle with how we handle this. Don't worry if, you get in a fight or an argument. It's planting a seed. You planted a seed that's going to help whoever it is you were talking to. Trust me. It's going to give them some foreknowledge. When it does happen, they're going to remember that argument. And they're probably going to call you back. Remember, guys, we accept these people with open arms. No hard feelings. We have to accept the fact that they've been manipulated by the same people that were trying to manipulate us. They just fell for it. And we can't hold it against them. We're all Americans here. We got to pull together. This is about uniting to defeat this evil. And that's what scares them the most. That's why they attacked us so much in the beginning. Because we were talking about that message of unity and pulling together and getting through this together. And nothing scares the globalists more than people coming together and uniting. That's why they work so hard to divide us. That's all globalist engineered, guys. Every war of the last 300 years, every terrorist attack, school shooting, all by this evil. It's coming to an end. It's going to be awesome. So be positive when you're trying to red pill these people. Your friends, your neighbors. Don't quit. Final push now, guys. We got to finish this thing. And remember, no fear. Nothing to fear here. This is all, like I said, 1,000 years of peace and prosperity. Greatest transfer of wealth in human history. Man's greatest age. Doesn't get any better. Never thought I'd see this day, guys. Never thought I'd see the day when we would truly be free again. And we're going to be. We're almost there. Hang in there. Keep pushing. Remember, fear not. God and President Trump are 1,000% in control. I'll see you tomorrow night at 5 Pacific. God bless.